Rap music is a massive money-making industry. Not only is rapping a great opportunity, but it is also an industry jam-packed with new artists. From all the rappers whose professional names start with the word Lil, as in little, to those who have maintained their birth names like Kendrick Lamar. They all have a story to tell, and that involves a lot of money. A lot of money means many rappers spend their money on frivolous stuff. Something most rappers are known for are their chains or necklaces. We wanted to know more about this specific item of jewelry among rappers. These are the most insane chain/necklaces that rappers own. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. Plies fitted chain. Plies has rocked a few chains over the years that are worth mentioning. His ski mask medallion, his flooded out license plate, and of course his gold piece that straight up weighs 7 kilos. The crown jewel in Plies' collection, however, has to be his goon-affiliated diamond-encrusted fitted chain. Designed to commemorate the Florida rapper's 4th studio album, this gaudy piece is roughly the size of a human fist and comes in the shape of a new era fitted hat. You gotta tip your cap to Plies for this conventionally head-scratching piece of jewelry, unless you have something better to do like eating an ice cream cone. Mr. Fab's short yellow bust chain. This piece produced by Highline Jewelers cost an estimated $15,000. Just plain and simple, Mr. Fab went dumb on some Bay Area slang crap. He went so dumb that he made a short bust chain. A short yellow bust because he's all the way down with that. The fact is, Mr. Fab is one of the most underrated rappers in the game today. That wasn't until we found out about his chain, and we actually wish we had not. Slick Rick's Justice Scale chain. This chain has an estimated value of $250,000. We think it can also be used as a spare dinner plate. With more gold than Richie Rich and Mr. T combined, Slick Rick helped pioneer the culture of excess that will come to define hip-hop. As far back as the mid-80s, the man otherwise known as MC Ricky D wore countless necklaces and rings, often with an actual crown, but none of this measured up to his Justice Scale medallion. Larger than his actual face, this glorious accessory would eventually take on a whole new meaning after Slick Rick was sent to jail when he pled guilty to 2 counts of attempted murder along with numerous other charges too. The irony is stupendous. Method Man's Ice Pick chain. This chain that looks a lot like an actual murder weapon has an estimated value of $25,000. Long before custom jewelry became the norm in hip-hop, Method Man commissioned this impressive piece of bling, which the TSA apparently refused to let through security one time on an account of its deadly potential as a shiv. As an esteemed member of the Wu-Tang Clan, Method Man has laid down some killer rhymes over the years, so it makes sense that he'd wear a killer chain too. We wonder if he runs while wearing it. Quavo's Ratatouille chain. This chain that can probably blind enemies with a diamond glare has an estimated value of $250,000. Migos love to get bad and bougie with their jewelry, but Quavo took this to new extremes a couple of years back when he commissioned a chain inspired by a Pixar reference to their hit single Still Be Playing with Pots and Pans. Call me Quavo Ratatouille, repping Disney culture. The white gold pendant is covered from head to claw with VVS white diamonds and even outmatches Quavo's Yoda piece in terms of cartoonish absurdity. Well done for making it onto the list. Rick Ross chain of himself wearing a chain. Just when you think you've seen it all, something like this comes along. Rick Ross has donned several chains that are all worth a not so small fortune. He also has a couple of pieces that are a particularly creative tribute to himself and his necklaces. In the mid-2000s, we're talking 2008, Rick Ross was often spotted on a red carpet with a large chain that featured his own face encrusted in yellow diamonds. He would later take things up a notch 2 years later, famously featured in a 2010 Nike commercial. Ricky Rose commissioned a piece that seemingly paid homage to his older chain of his own face. With the bust of himself now rocking a chain of himself, chain inception. This piece worn by the Bossy is the jewelry equivalent of holding 2 mirrors up to each other. Flooded with diamonds, this absurd, unique piece is not an optical illusion. Cameron's Harlem World chain. A few years back, Cameron became public enemy #1 with the fashion piece thanks to his ridiculous and yet also kind of impressive Harlem World chain. Featuring a battery-powered globe that actually spun round and round, the mechanical chain has since been bought by Lil Yachty, who swapped out the words Killa Cam Harlem World and replaced them with Yachty's World. The value of the chain is estimated at around $250,000. Kanye West Horus chain. Anchored by a medallion of the Egyptian deity Horus, Kanye West's ridiculously massive gold chain is one of the largest pieces of jewelry to be ever worn in the history of hip-hop. The Chicago rapper first appeared with a stunning statement piece at the 2010 BET Awards, leaving the world to marvel at his all-encompassing commitment to going above and beyond. Even assuming the 24-karat piece is hollow, its weight, if it wasn't hollow, would be comical. This Jacob the Jeweler joint still has an alleged price tag of $300,000. Well done on accomplishing nothing worthwhile, Kanye. Lil Jon's Crunk Ain't Dead chain. At the time it was made, Lil Jon's Crunk Ain't Dead chain was the largest diamond pendant ever created, and ironically enough, its appeal endured long enough after Crunk itself died on the charts. Almost bigger than Lil Jon himself, the infamous chain weighed over 5 pounds and even wound up in the Guinness Book of World Records, although its title has since been snatched by another. Lil Jon's most impressive creation remains one for the history books. So does its wasted price tag of $500,000. Mike Jones' Ice Age chain. A lot of folks reading this in 2021 might be saying, who? But Mike Jones was a major figure in rap back in the mid-2000s. In fact, so successful was the Houston rapper, he was able to drop a straight-up $1 million on a chain. With a pendant that fittingly says Ice Age, this 7-figure piece of opulence sports over 100 carats worth of diamonds. This ridiculous necklace was, believe it or not, stolen from Mr. Jones in his sleep by one of his friends. Luckily, he had it insured. T-Pain's big-ass chain. There's absolutely nothing subtle about this one, broken out by T-Pain in 2009. This big-ass chain that fittingly bears the words big-ass chain is a massive diamond-filled piece that sits atop the Florida rapper's collection of absurd jewels. Coming in at an estimated $400,000, this necklace weighs over 10 pounds and has nearly 200 carats worth of diamonds, which is kinda tragic since, again, it says big-ass chain. The mid to late 2000s were good to T-Pain, so you can't slide the guy for indulging a bit with this blockbuster piece of jewelry. It should also be noticed that T-Pain has a chain dedicated to bottle service that has to be seen to be believed. Soulja Boy at one point claimed to have spent over $3 million on jewelry. That's a ridiculous figure, but not one that's unbelievable for the Crank That rapper, who has had some gaudy pieces over the years. His flagship piece undoubtedly has to be his massive The World Is Yours chain, which is encrusted in white diamonds and sports a price tag of about $500,000. The message of this piece is definitely an inspiring one, and after Soulja Boy claimed that slightly exaggerated $400 million deal a while back, there might be some truth to it. Pharrell's Nerd chain. Back in 2006, Pharrell was seen wearing a multicolored, absolutely flooded piece that turned a lot of heads. Crafted by the legendary Jacob the Jeweler, Skateboard P's massive chain featured a ton of diamonds and other precious stones, giving it an incredibly bright glow. Adorned with a pendant that featured the 3 members of his group Nerd, this one-of-a-kind chain matched the aesthetic of BBC and BAPE in the mid-2000s. Flashy and bright. The super producer didn't go cheap on this piece either, with its estimated value coming in at over $1 million. Lil Uzi Vert's Marilyn Manson chain. We think this $220,000 chain can also be used to give small children nightmares. In an industry fueled by swagger that verges on arrogance, it's fascinating to see a relative newcomer like Lil Uzi Vert pay homage to another artist on one of his most expensive chains, particularly one who doesn't even work in the realm of hip-hop. Still, it's easy to see why Marilyn Manson might appeal to the rapper's own dark side. After all, it wasn't so long that he pushed us to the edge with his triumphantly dark single, EXO Tour L Live 3. We wouldn't be surprised if Uzi pushed his accounts to the edge as well, with the cost of this chain that totals up at a nearly $250,000. Ghostface Killa's Versace chain. Ghostface Killa is a virtuoso talent as an MC. The Wu-Tang legend from Staten Island has been long known for cruising in his own lane musically, but he's frequently done it with his jewelry as well. Often worn with a massive gold-plated eagle bracelet as seen below, Tony Starks has been known to don a chain that features an absolutely huge Versace logo medallion. He rocked it on the Pretty Tony album cover. Conservatively estimated at $40,000 for the pendant alone, Ghost piece serves as a tribute to the pioneer of ridiculous hip-hop jewelry, Slick Rick. As we end this video, we want to congratulate our nominees for bringing so much uselessness to the world. You have truly proven yourselves worthy of being remembered for nothing important once you leave the world of the living. Feel free to leave a comment. Until next time, take care and stay safe.